Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about my background and my story a little bit. I was introduced to network marketing, I think in 6th or 7th grade. My parents got into Amway, and I remember them having amazing products. Like all of our products changed to Amway, and it's such great products. So, all of our soaps and dishwashing liquid and laundry soap and the food that we were eating, like everything changed to Amway. We, started using the skin products and the protein bars and the shakes. And I just remember being so excited about this new stuff that we had in our home, and, it was quality. So very exciting for that age and getting to try all this stuff. And then, we had people coming in and out to get their products. So I remember having just all these products laid out in the kitchen, and then the people coming over, and these people became close friends of my family. And, they, I remember one couple went to our church, and another couple lived down the street, and we just got so close as family units, doing Amway together. And so that part was exciting. But there was, Amway was had a very strong Christian foundation, and they also had a very strong personal development program. And so in 7th grade, I was reading, books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. I remember another one, Lions Don't Need to Roar, and The Art of Persuasion. These were the books that I was reading in junior high. So, and we always had a cassette tape when we were in the car, and we were driving to and from dance and gymnastics in Houston for over an hour one way. And so we were listening to these millionaire leaders, I think most people have heard of Dexter and Bertie Yeager. Those were people that we listened to on a regular basis, and we felt like they were our friends. And these millionaires, diamonds, double diamonds, these people were talking to us constantly. And that's that was my first introduction to personal development. But just immersing myself in this changed my way of thinking, and then we would go to functions. They were big on tapes, books, and functions. And so it was constantly feeding you. And then at these functions, we would see these millionaires that were regular people. They would stand up there and share their stories. And, most of them would start with a prayer. And, at the functions on Sundays, it was like a big revival, church revival. And it was fun. And we were doing it with these people that had become our friends, and we were with them all the time. But going back to, so how that affected me was that I, from early on, then was all about personal development. And those were the books that I preferred. They were just feeding my subconscious mind and opening up pathways of possibility. And, they were big on dream building. And so we would go look at these fancy cars, and, we would, it was always dream building, and it was fun, and it was creative, and it was setting me up for a life that, I was learning sales techniques. I was learning people skills. I was learning these skills that entrepreneurs need to have, the skills of an entrepreneur. I was thinking like an entrepreneur. My dad was always about work smarter, not harder. And I was always kind of thinking about what I could do, that was different. And because it was all of this programming at such an early age, I didn't really have that voice at that time that said, well, you can't do that. I was very comfortable with sales, very comfortable putting myself out there, public speaking, and just like, talking to people. And I was an introvert, but I was very comfortable in social settings and interacting with people and asking for the sale, that sort of thing. So as I got older, I just wasn't afraid to go for it if I saw an opportunity. And let's see, in my 20s, I started doing prepaid calling cards, and that was a network marketing company, and I was introduced to that by two gentlemen. One is Mike Asquay, that is now doing World Ventures, and another one that is, his name was Brad. And they were just these really ambitious young entrepreneur guys that had the best attitude, and they were all about coaching and personal development. And so I started working with them with prepaid calling cards and building an organization. And it just felt second nature, because that's how I'd grown up. So yeah, working with them was fabulous. Then they found another company that was American Eagle Gold Coins, and it seemed like the perfect timing for it. And the whole group was pretty cohesive at this point, and so we were all kind of working closely together. So we moved over to a group, and they pretty much moved their whole group over. And we were still working really closely with Brad and Mike, which were incredible leaders, incredible mentors. And, that was when you were doing the meetings, doing the three-way calls. You were prospecting people everywhere. And I remember when my dad started prospecting really heavy in Amway, anybody that was within 3 to 5 feet, that was a prospect. And that was what, the training was like, anybody that's that close to you. And I remember before there was a napkin presentation, my dad actually was in a Denny's, I believe. And he literally did his presentation on this little napkin, and he kept it because it was so funny, and now there's a book about it, and, this whole movement. But that was, I remember that. And I remember going out to eat, and he was talking and prospecting people all the time, and he was doing really well. And so anyway, that was kind of in my blood, so to speak. So by the time that we got into gold coins, I was standing up in the meetings and speaking and giving my testimonial, and I was prospecting people and just belly to belly going for it. It was a lot of hustle. It's a lot of hustle, but we were building an organization, and the money was coming in. It was great. Then there another company came along, and the company of gold coins was having some issues at the corporate level. Honestly, I don't even remember. But anyway, so I remember Mike and Brad coming to me and telling me that they were, going to make a move and to a new company. And at that point, I had to make a decision, if this is what I wanted to do, if I wanted to move with the group into this other company. And for some reason, I just didn't feel right about the company they were moving to. And the gold coins wasn't feeling all that stable. So anyway, there was kind of a pause for a bit there, and I just decided to not move with them and to not continue with the gold coins. But I built up gold coins as an investment, and so I felt good about that. And some of my group moved with them, and some of them didn't quite feel good about it. So Anyway, lost my group, lost my income with that particular company and had to kind of start over. So I went and was doing sales for Century 21 siding and did a few other things. And then I believe that my dad he started looking at a company for air purifiers and came and prospected me at the time and said, here, just try one of these air purifiers. And at the time I was living in a brand new apartment, like 1,100 square feet, but there were like new paint smells and different things like that. And I was in Texas, so allergies, crazy. So I thought, why not? Let's try it, right? I tried it. The purifier was amazing. It cleared up my allergies, cleared up any congestion that I had had, and that was something I struggled with most of my life. So to see such a drastic difference was really impressive. And it just smelled like being near, it smelled like rain. It smelled like fresh rain, and it felt like sitting next to a waterfall. Sorry, just went blank. Like sitting next to a waterfall, just that feeling of peace that you got. And, I could definitely feel the benefits of this. So, got hooked on that product and decided I wanted to do it as a business. And, to get into this business, you had to purchase a pack of air purifiers. And I think they were like $500 a piece at that time. And so it was a big commitment coming in. The gold coins I thought was a big commitment. It was about $1,000 to come in. And I thought that was doable. So this was, even a bigger commitment because you're purchasing these purifiers, and it was about, I think, $2,500, $3,000 commitment. You're getting the product, and then what you do is we would take those out and to businesses and to people, and we would do the same thing. We would talk about it and then say, hey, just try it overnight. And there was a way that we would show them how to put it in their bed to clear out dust mites and really get them worked up and sold on it, because it was an incredible product. It really was. You could tell immediately after you cleared the dust mites out of your bed, like you just could sleep better, more soundly. And anyway, tangent. So I would take this big bulky purifier out and talk to people with the hopes of leaving it and then coming back the next day and closing the deal. And so this is what we did. And it was working. So, but a lot of time spent. I remember cold calling. I remember calling in the phone book and cold calling people, setting up a meeting. And I didn't know these people. They didn't know me. But I just did a script and, would set up these appointments and go out and do this and then go back and close it. They had also commercial purifiers that could go into bars and that sort of thing. So I would go to do the same thing with owners of bars and restaurants and take it in there and, tell them all about it, sell them on it, say, hey, can I leave it here for you to try? Then go back the next day. So anyway, this is what we did. And then we had weekly meetings where we would go and, you would do the business plan, and you tell people about the air purifiers, and then you would bring new people in. Everybody would bring new people in, and then you would sign them up to do it themselves. And, it was fun. We ended up moving. My dad made it to sales manager, which was a breakaway position. And then I made it to sales manager and broke my business away. And then I started speaking at the meetings and it just, it kept growing, but it was a lot of work. And doing 3-ways with the people in my group, in my sales group. And then I had one of my people in my sales group broke away to manager, and then another one. And so, you lose most of your commission when they break away to sales manager, but then anyway, I'm not going to get into the comp plan, but so I did that for a few years successfully. I was making a good amount weekly, monthly on that. And then my life took a turn, and I ended up moving out of the state and living in an ashram. So that was a totally different chapter in my life. And I did that for 8 years, and then had to go out and get a job when that kind of fell apart and changed and was no longer available anymore. So, going out and getting a job after that, I had these skills to survive. I had these skills to fall back on. And so that was really helpful. I don't know where I would be if I hadn't had those skills and hadn't had, just the mindset of not being afraid to do something new. So anyway, years later, I was living in Austin area, and my boyfriend at the time started looking we both wanted to work online. We had decided when we moved to Austin that we wanted it to be fun and free and exciting. And we had, for years I've been working sales, and then we both had been working in restaurants and resorts, and we just wanted more time, freedom and flexibility, and a way to make a higher income, because we were kind of tapped out, at what we were able to make at that point. So, made the commitment before moving to Austin. I remember saying, this is going to be a different experience for me, and I'm going to work all online and do this design my life the way I want. And so when I got there, I just started using my entrepreneur skills to work online, and I started with book reviews, and then it turned into book promotions, and it just kind of happened because it was something that needed to be done, needed to be filled. People needed it, and so I thought, I can do that. I like reading, and I like reviewing, and so I did that for a few years, and my boyfriend started looking into this network marketing company called Brain Abundance. And it was a brain supplement, really great product, and really good for anyone with ADD, great for focus. And so he started working that, and their system, they had an email system that was automated and converted the leads for you. It was just, they did the websites for you, they set it up. It's so different. It's so much easier than what I had done in the past as far as network marketing and multi-level. It was a binary. It was just, there was this ease around it, and it was set up that so you could do it all online. And we had been building our social media, our Twitter, all of those accounts we had been building up a year or two, that we just focused on building up our social media. And, then we were just kind of looking for ways to earn money online. And so by the time that he started working this business, we both had pretty significant fans and followers on our social media. So I was just watching him, and he was just sharing his link on Twitter, sharing it on social media. They set you up with websites and give you a link, and he was just doing that. And business started coming in, and he started getting paychecks. And My book promotion business, at this point, I was putting a lot of time in and didn't have a lot of free time. The money was unstable, I was great for a while and then I wouldn't get sales and then I would. And, there was still trading time for dollars for me. And so as I was watching him have these checks roll in and, he's doing it all online, I started doing it too. I started, using the product, which I loved, and just kind of sharing it on my social media. And then CEO and the company leaders started to change with that. They went through one CEO and then we weren't getting a lot of information about what was happening. We weren't sure if the company was going to go out of business. This new CEO showed up out of the blue. The old CEO and the big leaders, they ended up jumping companies, and we didn't know what was happening. New CEO showed up that seemed really sharp, really together, and we had a choice. We were actually approached by the CEO, the other CEO, and the top leader, and they wanted us to jump with them and take the whole group over. And so at that point we had to decide what we wanted to do, and to me it just didn't feel right. Again, I had been through that, and it just didn't feel right to let our group that we already had down to just jump companies. And I felt really good about the new CEO, so wanted to give him a shot. So we started working with subliminal sprays, installed the brain products, and had brain gummies. And then there was a merging, and they brought in CBD products and brought in HempWorks. This shift was the best thing that had happened to this company and to me in years. And so it was just amazing CBD products, and I completely believe in these products. I think CBD has helped so many people, including my mom that had had a stroke, including my sister that had chronic knee pain, and she owns a dance studio, so she needs her knee. I also had knee problems. It's helped people with anxiety. It's helped people with depression. I mean, the list goes on. Fabulous product I could get wholeheartedly behind. My boyfriend had a significant team by this time, and so he was able to bring a lot of them and, talk them into sticking it out. His checks were looking really nice. I watched him become a leader right in front of me because he had been doing personal development and watching YouTube videos of leaders and doing the courses and learning from all these people. And I watched him turn into a leader right in front of me, and his whole organization changed. And the people that he was working with changed because he was the leader. He was showing up. And again, I got to see this personal development transform someone, and his income just kept climbing, and the checks were mind-blowing as they were coming in. His group turned into leaders instead of people that, I don't understand, I don't know what I'm doing. Products kept getting better. The company emails got better, and I'm watching this get better and better. It was all online. They even did lead generation. If you wanted to do it that way, it was he was working about an hour a day and just building it from what he had already done online, his social media and YouTube. And so it was working, and I decided to get serious about it and realized that I was sitting on money from just what he had brought in on his strong leg, his power leg. And so all I had to do was just match my other leg. And after watching him and just seeing the success and how easy it was compared to what I used to do, you don't have to handle any product, it's drop shipped. I mean, it was just done for you, so easy. Automated system that is literally closing people for you, and so you're just watching people come in. They were excited about it because so many people want to just be able to work and earn money online, and a lot of people don't know where to start, and this is already set up for you. It's already a great product. They've already done the hard work, and it's very little overhead. I mean, anyway, it was a no-brainer. And when I decided to get serious about it, all I had to do was just work with a few people to balance that other leg. And I got a check right away. It's changed our lives. The income has been mind-blowing. It's a people business, and I've known that and I've seen that for years, you know, so your kind of psychologist, your salesperson, your friend, cheerleader, your motivator, you're all of these things at different times. And so people skills is really important, and you're always learning about yourself and, you know, giving to people in the way that they need to be given to in order to motivate them. And so it's an ongoing learning process, and gets you out of your comfort zone, but it couldn't be any easier to have an online business. You know, it's already set for you. And there's so many entrepreneurs out there that have to develop everything from the beginning and have to figure out what their brand is going to be, have to figure out all these things. And this is, they've done a lot of the work for you. So your branding is just branding yourself and being yourself and reaching out to people. It's so much better than cold calling out of the phone book and having to go out and talk to people. You're just sharing your link and getting as many eyeballs on this as possible. Basically, you're just inviting as many people as you can to get it. And so, you know, everything that I went through as a kid and everything that I learned and all the skills that I've gathered, I've been able to use to do this. And, you know, to really just, it feels like it just kind of was, just kind of clicked into place and dropped in my lap, and I can be myself as a female entrepreneur, which is a little different than the masculine entrepreneurs. We're kind of moving into a new arena. We're moving into a new way of doing business, which is more intuitive, which is more heart-centered. And I can do that in this business, and it's changing people's lives. And I get to work, you know, in changing people's mindsets and being the coach and being the mentor and being the friend. And that way it's fulfilling, and it's an easy transition with what I'm already doing. And it's enabled us both to work from home, online, make money, make a living, and be able to travel, be able to really do the things that we've been dream building about. We were able to get the dream car. We were able to, you know, go to places that we wanted to go to, that we talked about going to, and be able to take off in the middle of the week and go to the lake, go hiking, camping, whatever we decide to do. You know, we'll just take off and start driving on the parkway, and we'll end up just driving and going to another state and staying for the night just because we can, you know, because it's inspired and it sounds fun. And we've just enriched our lives so much by having this opportunity. And I think that it's easy sometimes to forget how lucky we are to have opportunities like this, and how it can enrich our lives in ways that, you know, we just wouldn't have in other countries, in other situations sometimes. And I'm guilty of feeling entitled because I've grown up here. And, you know, when I really look at it and look at how my life has changed and the things I've been able to do that I wanted to do, but didn't have the time or the money. It was either one or the other. Either I had time and no money, or I had money and no time. So now we've been able to have both and really explore what is it that we really want. How great can life be? When I just sink into that gratitude, I feel so blessed and so glad that someone shared this opportunity with me and someone shared it with him, so that we could both be where we are today. I'm really grateful to share it with others. Yeah, thanks for listening to my story, watching my video. Feel free to share about it, and I'll include links below so you can see what we're doing. If you feel called to come join us, then definitely do. It's a lot of fun, and it's transformative. All right, thanks.